Stop for a moment. Set everything down. Let the noise around you fall quiet because I have been trying to get your attention. And today you finally slowed down long enough to hear me. This is not an accident. When you came here, you weren't lost. I brought you to this precise moment, and long before you realized you would need it, I prepared what I am going to say to you. Your spirit is being nudged. It's been with you for days. You couldn't identify the stirring, an inexplicable pull, a feeling that something was going to shift. Don't overlook it. I was the one who nudged. I have been quietly reaching out to you in 100 different ways. It was an unexpected thought that would not go away. The impulse to pray when you were on the verge of giving up. The unease that pervaded your daily routine, as though your own life were hinting at something more. That wasn't random at all. It was just my hand on your shoulder. You've been wondering why there was silence in heaven. Listen to me now. I never kept quiet. I was speaking in a register that your haste was unable to understand. I started to slow you down. As a result, I allowed some doors to remain closed and some plans to stall. I want to turn your face toward mine, not to annoy you. When my child, a shepherd, wants a specific sheep, he doesn't yell across the field. He approaches it. He refers to it by name. This moment is exactly that. I'm not speaking to a crowd at the moment. One voice to one heart. I'm talking to you because no one else can claim what I have prepared because it bears your name. I want you to understand why timing is important. So pay close attention. Heaven moves silently during some seasons and abruptly during others. The boundary between the two is where you are standing. It was not emptiness behind you, the long silent stretch. It was the bows drawing back. And when the pull is the longest, an arrow travels the furthest. You nearly didn't reach this point. I am aware that you considered laying the entire thing down on some nights. The prayers, the hope, the faith. In any case, something inside of you persisted. It wasn't stubbornness. I never allowed the thread of my spirit to break. It was woven into you. I want to permanently answer one question before continuing. I care about you, not the polished version of yourself or the person you pretend to be when people need you. You in your current state. I'm still listening today, exhausted and uncertain. I came for that one. I am aware of the queries you have. Why is it taking so long? Why do you seem to wait while others move forward? Why do the same conflicts recur in this hour? I will respond to those inquiries. You have to let go of one lie first, though. The falsehood that claims you were ignored. You were never disregarded. They were keeping you. Being hidden and being forgotten are two different things. When a treasure is buried, it is never forgotten. It is safeguarded. I have prevented you from seeing some people and opportunities because they would have destroyed what I was developing in you if they had gotten to you too soon. I frequently used what felt like rejection as a shield. The hiding is now coming to an end. I need you to be awake while I lift the cover because what I do next will happen quickly. And I don't want you to think it's a coincidence. That's me when the unexpected call arrives. I'm the stranger who says the exact words you secretly prayed for. I'm the one who opens a stuck door on its own initiative. Now, don't let your thoughts wander. Nothing would please the enemy more than for you to wander off in the middle of this word. To suddenly want to be somewhere other than here to recall an errand. Acknowledge the pull for what it is. Remain with me. The people who get everything I release, they are the ones who stay until the very end. As my voice reaches you, I want you to breathe slowly. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Your body has been prepared for bad news for so long that it has forgotten how to react to positive news. So get it right away. I'm here for you. I've always supported you. Additionally, the report I carry today is a promise rather than a warning. This will seem too good to be true to some people who hear it. I am aware of that caution, my dear. You've learned from life to protect your hope in the same way that a burned hand protects itself from flames. However, I am not a disappointment in life. It was me who spoke light into the dark, and the thing itself has to bend to comply with what I say. I therefore make a straightforward request right here at the outset. Just an open heart, not perfection or a perfect record. The tiniest fissure in the wall you constructed. I can work with faith the size of a seed. With less I have moved mountains. It's a marked day today. In a long time you will reflect on your past and categorize your narrative into what preceded and followed this word. I don't say that casually, and I don't tell everyone. I tell you this because I can see the positive things that are already happening behind the curtain. If your heart is ready to receive what I am going to say, declare your amen right now. You may have said it yourself, or your spirit may have spoken for you and you haven't heard. Lean in now. The portion of your story that you were never able to see is what I will show you next. The part that clarifies the tears, the holdups, and the odd, unwavering hope that would endure. It's time you learned the truth about what has been going on. Allow me to share with you what I have seen, because you've been convinced for years that your most difficult times went unnoticed. They didn't. Every time I was present in the room, I was present when you managed to keep your composure in public and broke down as soon as the door shut behind you. I heard the prayers that were never expressed. The ones that were just my name and a long sigh. On mornings when getting up was the most courageous thing anyone could do in that house. I watched you get up. Nobody cheered. I observed. I also witnessed the betrayal. I saw someone you trusted take advantage of your generosity and use it as a commodity. I heard their falsehoods about you. I also noticed that rather than retaliating, you bit your tongue. You questioned whether you were a fool for remaining silent. It didn't. It kept your hands clean for what I'm going to put in them. I am aware of the friend who disappeared during a difficult time in your life. I am aware of those who ought to have protected you but ended up being the cause of the injury. You've thought about what you did to earn those moments 1,000 times over. Give up asking. They were the ones who failed, not you. Furthermore, I haven't forgotten the account. On some nights, you would lie awake and wonder if your prayers were being answered or if they were just going up into thin air. I want to give a straightforward response to that query. They all showed up in transit. Not a single one was lost. Some have already been addressed. Some are kept for the appropriate amount of time. And because I could see the entire road, I gave different answers to some, and only the bend was visible. The people you love have also been carried by you. For those who were unaware that you were praying for them, you have filled the void, silently, bearing your own burden, raising their names in the darkness. There is a sound in heaven for that kind of covert devotion. It's not a tiny sound. Here's what you need to know about the painful years, my dear child. Not all of your wounds are my fault. Some resulted from decisions whose consequences you could not have predicted. Some from a broken world and some from the brutality of others. However, I didn't waste any of it. There's a distinction. I don't create sadness, but I also won't allow sadness to be the last word in any of my loved ones' stories. Imagine Joseph in the prison and then in the pit. His brothers had bad intentions. Instead of being a covert blessing, the betrayal was actual evil. But until the day the prison door opened and the pit became a footnote, I bent even that evil to fulfill my purpose. I have been bending toward your good even though others intended to bury you. The bending is nearly finished. During those years of concealment, you discovered things that no simple path could have taught you. When no other voice was compassionate, you discovered how to hear mine. When no one finds you impressive, you discover who you are. You discovered that you can lose a lot and still be strong. Don't hate that schooling. You carried out your worst season with more wisdom than kings have paid fortunes for. And take note of this. You did not turn cruel, which is important. You had every reason to become hardened by life. And where it matters, you remain gentle. You continue to give. Even when it seems dangerous to hope for yourself, you continue to hope for others. Softness is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence that the adversary was unable to transform you into his likeness. I witnessed your actions regarding your doubts as well. Rather than allowing them to push you away from me, you brought them to me. There were nights when you and I disagreed. That's all right. Jacob left with a limp and a blessing after wrestling until dawn. Your sincere wrestling is more appealing to me than your court distance. You have been in need of this for a long time. You're not falling behind. People who cannot see what I see created the clock you use to gauge your own success. When the promise came, Abraham was elderly. Between the anointing and the throne, David had to wait years. A promise's timing is the responsibility of the person who made it. Additionally, I've never once missed an appointment. You began to apologize for your own existence at some point. In the rooms you were sent to fill, you shrink. You claim that your needs are excessive and that your dreams are unrealistic. That concludes today. I don't create things with regret. I intentionally created you much like a craftsman creates a tool for a task he has in mind. If this word is penetrating the deepest recesses of your heart, say aloud, I believe. Excellent. I'm going to show you the other side of your story. So let that belief stand up straight inside of you. The side concealed by the veil. Your life has only ever been visible from the ground. I'll let you see it for the next few moments. The delays were not denials from my point of view. From my vantage point, the closed doors were detours around ruin that were undetectable rather than insults. My chosen companions will soon fill the void left by those who left from where I sit. Your file doesn't appear to be a failure up here. It seems to be a record of someone being gradually and carefully trusted with a lot. You should be aware of another thing I saw. A record was kept each time you were mistreated and decided not to make amends, or each time you blessed someone who was powerless to help you. You believed those moments had vanished. They didn't. They piled up. And in my kingdom, a hidden record of faithfulness is always paid for within. You can't get away with it while you continue to believe your accuser's report. So, I have to reveal something. For years, someone has been criticizing you. Its greatest trick is that it sounds like your own thoughts. It shows up when you're at your most vulnerable, quotes your darkest moments, and signs your name to its conclusions. I'm putting that voice to the test today. You are a failure according to the accuser in the hands of a builder who has never given up on a project. You are, in my opinion, a work in progress. You are forgotten, the accuser muttered. I claim that your name is inscribed so clearly that I can't look away. You are too damaged to be used. According to the accuser, I claim that the vessels I use the most are all repaired, and my light travels through the repaired areas. Your best years are over, according to the accuser. Fields that lay for the longest yield the richest harvests, I assure you. Your errors disqualified you, he said. I claim that the final decision was written on your record by my mercy, and the verdict states that it was redeemed. You missed your one chance, he said. On the beach, I claim to be the God of Peter, repairing what 3 denials had damaged in a single morning. No one would ever genuinely choose you. He said, I didn't make a snap decision when I chose you. His words were, your prayers change nothing. I say, calms have quietly turned on the hinge of prayers smaller than yours. You will end your days unnoticed and unfinished. He declared, I declare that I will finish what I started in you, and it won't be silent. Whose report are you going to trust? You are unable to carry both. A shrinking life is the result of one voice, while an open door is the result of another. Select the voice that shaped who you are. Make the decision today and each day after that until it becomes second nature to you. Recognize the reasons behind the accuser's intense efforts. Years are not spent on worthless targets by liars. Before you ever felt your calling, he studied it. Additionally, everything he threw at you was based on the size of your belongings. The treasure it was sent to smother increased with the intensity of the opposition. You weren't attacked because of your weakness. Your freedom will cost the darkness, which is why you were attacked. As the one who is never taken from you without multiplying it back, now have a question for you. As gold is placed on the scales of this calling, my child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of actual weight, on the altar of this work. Let it be an offering placed on a stone, a seed woven into deep water and not suppressed by fear. This demonstrates that your heart no longer clings to lack and that you trust me to provide. What you let go of in your faith stays in your life. It advances into the harvest ahead of you. I'm getting ready. Recall the Zarephath widow. She gave the man of God the last cake, a handful of flour, and a small amount of oil first. The jar did not run out of water. The jug was successful. It was because of the trust, not the size of the sum. The size of the hand has never been the deciding factor. It has to do with which way the heart faces when it opens. I'll go back to the voice you need to silence now, because it has one more and the deepest lie to tell. You are fighting this battle alone according to the accuser. That everyone who is important eventually departs. That everything collapses if you rest. So, you have to hold it up yourself. You've been motivated by this lie for years. It's the reason you can't get help on some nights and can't sleep on others. Listen to the truth. It wasn't just you who kept your life together. From the start, my hand has been beneath the entire structure. The nights when you thought everything would crumble. And for some reason, when morning arrived, it had not fallen. The beams weren't held by chance. I was that person. I therefore grant you permission to put down what was never yours. The result, the moment, and the judgments of those who didn't know the path you took. Place them in the same manner that a worker places a sack at the end of the workday. Within a week, you'll feel lighter. You haven't experienced lightness in a very long time. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. When the accuser is silenced, a boldness reappears. It will soon become apparent to you. In places where you used to shudder, you will talk. Where you had quietly given up, you will give it another go. This is not a personality shift. It is the sound of your actual self uncovered. And when the old voice reappears because it will try to make a comeback, respond to it using what is written, just as I did in the wilderness. Rather than arguing with it using your own strength, nothing can keep you from my love. It is written, no weapon created against you will succeed according to the written word. The righteous are said to fall 7 times and then rise again. The liar won't stay to hear the rest of the verse if you put the sword in your mouth. You've spent enough time living under a false verdict. Today, think of it as overturned. The charges from your past are not repeated in the court of heaven. The blood that responded to them is echoed by it. Leave the cell. As soon as mercy spoke, the door was unlocked. Mercy has also been talking over you since you were too young to pay attention. Let me now demonstrate the structure of your struggle. Your battles have been concentrated at 3 doors rather than dispersed at random. When you knocked, pushed, and sobbed on the threshold, 3 aspects of your life remained locked: purpose, companionship, and provision. I will talk to each of them. Hear the sound of iron giving way as I speak. Provision is the first locked door. You have put in more effort than most and held less than many. But you have never understood the math behind it. Money came and went. A day before your hand could reach them, opportunities ripened and then went bad. You started to feel like something was against you and you weren't dreaming. What that lock could not do, though, was this. You couldn't become dishonest because of it. Despite being under pressure for years, you never once considered cheating to be the solution. You couldn't become stingy as a result. You shared even when you were lacking. Are you aware of how uncommon that is? A test that most people who are full will never even sit for has been passed by someone who remains giving while empty. The test is now over. To let you know that my hand was behind it. I am opening the door of provision in ways that you did not engineer. Keep an eye out for provision that comes without your effort. Keep an eye out for debt that decreases more quickly than the figures indicate. Keep an eye out for the idea that strikes you during a typical hour and ends up containing your increase. Don't refer to these events as luck. Refer to them by name. Loyalty. Companionship is the second locked door. This lock has been the most agonizing since it led you to believe that you were the issue. You repelled the steady ones and drew in takers. Or so it appeared. You felt alienated at your own table when you were seated in social situations. In a crowded room, you know how to be by yourself. Nobody should have to acquire that skill the way you did. Behind the veil, this is what was real. A portion of that seclusion served as defense. I prevented attractive bonds that would have bound you to a small size from closing around you. Additionally, the emptiness of a field in between plantings contributed to some of the seasonal loneliness. It's not a desolate field. It was lying down in front of the seed. I am now sending companions that are appropriate for the person you are becoming rather than the person you were. They'll know who you are right away. You will experience a level of ease in their company that you no longer thought was achievable. Instead of feeding on your strength, they will speak to it and accept them without question when they arrive. Not everyone has a knife hidden. Bread is carried by the ones I send. However, leave space at the second door. This is your role. There are relationships in your life that drain you hourly. Voices that after each conversation make you feel smaller. I'm not asking you to despise anyone. Please don't water what I've uprooted. Gently and without drama. Let go of what drains you. And what I've prepared will fill the vacancy. New treasure cannot be closed in by a hand that holds old stones. Purpose is the third locked door. And the enemy put up the strongest defense against this lock. Your entire life. You have experienced it. The feeling of being created for an unidentified purpose. It came to you in the middle of routine work at strange times, a homesickness for a place you've never been. The longing was less painful than the fading that followed. You came to the conclusion that wanting more was stupid. You weren't stupid. That desire was your calling's compass needle, quivering in the direction of its actual north. This door's lock was never able to take away your purpose. All it could do is postpone your arrival. And a larger room is frequently indicated by a delayed entrance. My child, before the bush burned, Moses spent 40 years in a wilderness carrying out his calling. The desert was not the end of the calling. There it developed. At 20, full of his own strength, the man who eventually stood in front of Pharaoh could not have done so. The gradual development of a person who can bear weight without being crushed by it, it is what you refer to as your wasted years. You will be able to tell when the third door opens. You'll find assignments. As a lock matches its key, needs that precisely fit the shape of your gift will emerge in front of you. You'll accomplish something that seems almost effortless, and others will think it's amazing. When that occurs, pay attention. One of the most subtle indicators that you are inside your design is ease plus fruitfulness. Additionally, don't assume that your work has to look amazing in order to be excellent. Some are called to stand in front of large crowds. At the appropriate hour, most people stand in doorways, kitchens, workrooms, and have quiet conversations. Years of applause can be surpassed by a single sentence delivered to the right person at the right time. I gauge greatness by love and obedience rather than by viewership. Even if I give you something small, treat it as sacred. I've never considered something small to be small in your eyes. Don't ask for the entire blueprint at once. When someone has a map, they stop holding the guide's hand, so I don't give out complete maps. I'll give you enough light. And the next step will show up when you take it. The entire journey will proceed in this manner. One obedience at a time until you're amazed at how far you've come. One key, 3 doors. Your hard work, your connections, or your impeccable record have never been the key. The owner of the house is the one who turns the key, which is trust. You've studied the locks for years now. Raise your gaze to the locksmith. The sound of your spirit scraping, it's a real day. No man can stop the sound of things opening. The opening of doors is just the beginning. So listen to what I am releasing now. An invitation is a door. The inheritance is what goes through it. And I'm sending it through those open doors. 4 things: peace, favor, healing, and restoration. You want to be able to identify each when they arrive. So, pay close attention to what they have to say. Healing comes first. I'm talking to your body. The devoted servant who has supported you over the years and paid for all of your worries. It has been exhausted by stress. Its muscles and sleep are now inhabited by grief. Your sorrows gave rise to some of the issues that plague your body, and the body will heal along with the grief. I'm also talking about ailments that have not responded to any treatment. Nothing in you is out of my reach because I created every fiber of you. In small steps, the strength you thought was lost forever will start to come back. One day you'll realize that you slept through the night, that you ascended the stairs without the old weight, and that the pain you had come to terms with has become oddly quiet. Accept these for what they are. I'm working on your body, and healing involves more than just the body. You have locked certain rooms in your memory because it would be too expensive to enter them. Erasing doesn't help me heal. By going into those rooms with you until you are able to stand there without bleeding, I heal. The time will come when you will speak steadily about your worst season. It ceased to rule not because it ceased to matter. Restoration comes in second. Someone who left your story will come back to it. A heart that has finally realized its own fault is forming an apology that you have stopped waiting for. Restoration is not the same as going back to what hurt you. So when the time comes, you will have a choice, and I will assist you in making an informed decision. Have a clear understanding of this. Not all broken relationships can be mended. Reopening certain endings would only cause more pain because they were my mercy. However, I will repair the bonds I ordained, the ones with a purpose, and the repaired bonds will be stronger than the original. You can rely on me to separate the two. The two have never confused me. Favor comes in third. This one will be evident in how the environment reacts to you. Locations that rejected you will change their minds. Authorities will glance at you twice, and the second glance will reveal something new. Responses that were previously negative will become positive, and you won't be able to identify any changes you made. The mark of favor is that results that surpass explanations. Favor does not equate to justice. You get what you deserve thanks to fairness. You get what I say through favor. In an afternoon, Joseph became governor due to favor after receiving a prison sentence he did not deserve. Years of injustice can be made up for with a single day of favor. And I am an expert in that math. Don't spend the upcoming season comparing yourself to the past. The people who owe you won't pay you back. I'll provide it, and my prices are reasonable. Peace comes in forth, the settled deep that endures even as storms quarrel overhead. Not the brittle interlude between issues that the world refers to as peace. This tranquility doesn't wait for things to get better. It relocates first and undergoes internal renovations. In circumstances that used to completely unravel you, you will experience an odd calm. You won't notice it until others do. You won't be able to adequately explain what changed when they ask, since you did not create it. You will be able to tell that it originated with me. Let's talk about how these 4 gifts are transported. Now, rarely do they come with trumpets. Deliveries from heaven are typically silent at the door. A conversation that suddenly becomes friendly. A letter containing unexpected news. A morning when the fear just doesn't exist. While they wait for spectacle, the proud miss their miracles. Be the one to identify me in the regular envelope. And a note regarding timing. The storehouse has already been cleared of these releases. Some are close. Some are being held back by nothing but other people's readiness, and some are being routed through events that haven't yet occurred. I'm still positioning myself. The interval should not be interpreted as a rejection. Even if a ship is still out of sight of the harbor, it has already launched and is not considered denied. Take care of what has landed while you wait for what is on its way. Instead of withholding your appreciation until the entire amount is received, thank me for the initial small gestures. Being grateful is more than just being cows. The channel is widened by the acknowledgement. It is safe to send much to someone who is faithful over little. I'm also observing your handling of the initial fruits. Folded inside the other 4 gifts is one more. And it might be the best. As peace, favor, healing, and restoration work, you'll start to like the person you're growing into. Your days will no longer be filled with self. Raro Roach. You won't recoil when you see your reflection in a window. I've been waiting a long time for you to see what I see. My darling, the inheritance also includes that sight. Declare, I've got it. Let those words serve as your signature on everything I just said. If you are prepared to grasp what heaven is releasing over your life, such declarations are taken seriously in heaven, more seriously than you realize. Something was sealed the instant you spoke. I have to get you ready for what will happen next. And it won't all be gentle. So stay with me. I want you to be prepared before it happens, because great releases draw strong opposition. You now need to walk in what I've released. And walking calls for training. Heaven has accomplished what it alone is capable of. I won't offend you by acting otherwise, because there is still a part that is yours. Grace is not passive, but it is free. Israel had to march across the floor of the sea even after it parted for them. This is the first instruction before you see move. Waiting for evidence does not constitute faith. It's just watching. Abraham packed up and headed for a place he could not have located on any map he had created. While the water was still acting like water, Peter placed his weight on it. I will meet you in motion with the promise I have spoken over you. Make the move you've been putting off. The request, the discussion, the start, and the danger. Small is acceptable. It's not delayed. The second rule is to control your mouth. You don't comment on your life with your words. They act as its agents. Either agreement with your fear or agreement with my promise may emerge from the same mouth. Whatever you say, you get stronger. Let your speech take my side from now on. When lack yells, respond with provisions. When fear murmurs, respond with my extensive and uninterrupted record. I'm not asking you to downplay the difficulty. I'm requesting that you cease making prophecies against yourself. The third piece of advice is to watch what you eat. You are the gate's keeper. Your thoughts will be invaded by voices of despair. Some from people with bad intentions, some from the cacophony of a world full of fear. You choose who gets a room for the night. But you can't stop the noise. Fill your inner home with what is honorable, genuine, and hopeful. The strongest faith will be starved by a fear-fueled mind. It is very difficult to defeat a mind that is fed truth. The fourth directive is to maintain an open dialogue between us, not a ceremony. Talk to me as you work, stroll, or wait in the boring middle of everyday life. Bring the little things to me. I don't care about anything that worries you. You can't use prayer as a lever to get results. Your heart remains in my presence because of the current. And hearts that are kept in my presence are difficult to get lost. I have to be honest about resistance now because I am warning people I care about. The captor is informed when a prisoner is released. Opposition will surface in your life as my releases take place. Anticipate discouragement in the form of familiar faces, some who doubt your optimism, some who make fun of it, and some whose skepticism seems almost plausible. Anticipate minor crises that are timed with peculiar accuracy, interruptions that appear to be planned to coincide with your advancement. They're made. That's precisely the point. None of this should worry you, nor should you interpret it as proof that the promise was broken. Make sure you read it correctly. Thieves don't congregate in vacant homes. The value of what you currently carry is determined by how strong the interference is. It is not an indication that you made a mistake when you encounter resistance. It is frequently the most subtle indication that you made the right choice. And keep in mind the people who support you. I have placed a hedge around you that cannot be lobbied and was not put to a vote. No weapon made against you will be successful. Yes, formed. No prosper. Plans will be created and then abandoned during the drafting process. Words will be used against you and there won't be any harvest. You underestimate your role in the conflict. Remain calm, maintain your composure and refuse to give up your trust. I have never lost and the remainder of the war is mine. I also want to warn you about an enemy that is more subtle than any attack. The return to previous trends. Even a cage can feel like shelter after enough years. There will also be times when the old smallness whispers an invitation home because the new area feels so strange. Refuse to accept it. Lot's wife became a monument to hesitation as she gazed back at a scorching past. Put your gaze forward. Unfamiliarity does not equate to danger. It's just the outline of a future you haven't yet committed to memory. Expectation should be disciplined. When you wake up in the morning, assume that I have already begun my workday. Arrogance is not the same as expectation. It is the stance of a child who is aware of their father's personality. Through their own answered prayers, those who have no expectations fall asleep. Those who observe see. In the same way that farmers thank the sky before the rain because they know the season even when the ground is still dry. I would have you among the watchers practice gratitude in the same way. Especially on days when there is little evidence. The greatest compliment that faith can give is to express gratitude before responding. It lets heaven know that you have more faith in the promise's character than in the promise itself and engage in rest. You'll be surprised by this one, but pay attention. Being worn out is not a sign of loyalty. I did not spare you from the rhythm of creation. Rather, I incorporated rest into it. Some of what you refer to as anxiety is just fatigue from dressing up. Go to sleep guilt-free. Stay motionless without earning it. Right now, the most important work in your life is work that only I can complete. And I don't need your concern as a contribution. It might be the most difficult after one more instruction. Don't forgive them because they deserve it. Some people don't, not because it was a minor wound. It wasn't. Unforgiveness is like a chain with one end around your own wrist. And everything I'm guiding you toward needs your hands free. So forgive. You don't need to have faith in them once more. Nobody needs to hear you explain it. Give me the debt and I'll be the judge I've always been. You will notice a difference in your steps as soon as you release it. You are in charge of these orders for the season and you can fulfill them all before you see move. Talk about life. Keep watch at the gate. Continue talking to me. When opposition arises, stand your ground. Look ahead. Anticipate. Express gratitude. Relax and extend forgiveness. Complete these and the releases. I've said that I won't just stop by your life. They'll make it their home and start building. Now raise your head, for I am going to close this word in the same manner that a king closes a decree by ascending and sealing it. Everything I've said to you during this hour is now in action. The doors are opening. The releases are on their way. The verdict of the accuser is reversed. All that's left is for you to cross the threshold. And I won't send you there empty-handed, or by yourself. Keep an eye out for the first indication in the coming days. I tell you this so you won't be able to justify it when it happens. It could be small, a message from an unexpected source, an act of kindness without apparent reason, or a provision that comes through a door you weren't looking at. Seldom is the first sign the biggest. Before the covenant, there is a handshake. To put it another way, you heard correctly. Confirmations will start to come in after the initial sign. Even if they don't know one another, different voices will tell you the same thing. Situations will align with what I've said thus far. The scriptures will seem strangely relevant to your circumstances when you open them at random. You may refer to it as chance when it occurs once. Call it what it is if it continues to occur. When a father takes a child somewhere new, he makes himself obvious to the child. The building season will then arrive. I also want you to be sober about it. There are no endless mornings with new seasons. Work weather and days that seem like the past will all still exist. Difficulty does not go away. The distinction is that it becomes harder to maintain control as a person on assignment. You will encounter challenges as things to overcome rather than judgments to live by. Even though it sounds quiet, that shift alters everything it comes into contact with. Keep in mind that you are becoming a response to the prayers of others as you stroll. This is a portion of my unlocked purpose. Someone is standing where you were this week, exhausted, wondering if anyone notices and on the verge of putting everything down. Because you wore it, you will be able to identify the style. Talk when you do. Inform them that the night is over. Inform them of what you now know on the inside. When comfort comes from someone who needed it first, it has a certain authority. And I'm giving you that power. Never undervalue the lessons your endurance has already taught you. People saw you go through what ought to have killed you, and they saw you continue to stand on the other side. Some of them made assumptions about me based on how you managed to survive. You were a letter that you had no idea you were writing. I'll let you read some of the responses and hear this about the people you care about and have prayed for over the years in the upcoming season. I haven't just listened to those prayers. I've been softening ground you can't reach, setting up interactions you can't engineer, and working in lives you can't oversee. In the upcoming season, some of the answers will come to light and some will surprise you. Continue to carry them. No loaf-filled prayer is ever a waste of effort. For the last time, let me also make amends with you regarding the past, even on the good days that lie ahead. You will be tempted to lament the years that the doors were locked. Bring that grief to me when it occurs. However, don't let it dictate the narrative. I am the God who gives back what was taken and replenishes what was consumed. Furthermore, there are no refunds for my restorations. They are multiplications. More can be found in the years that lie ahead of you than in the years that you lost. Have faith in that. And the future is no longer subject to the influence of the past. I do not conclude this word with instructions. So now accept my blessing. I conclude with a benediction. I commend the labor of your hands. I hope it succeeds beyond explanation. I bless you as you leave and return. May every obstacle rise to fulfill your task. Your table is blessed by me. I hope it never goes without bread. And may there always be space for the visitor I send. Your sleep is blessed by me. I hope it's deep. And may you think of me when you're awake before worrying. I pray that your eyes will be able to quickly identify my hand. I pray that my voice will be audible to you every day. I bless your heart, the courageous, prepared, tenacious heart that continued to beat hope even when it was costly. It won't be humiliated. I also bless the people you care about. May the goodness that comes your way overflow its banks and water, uniting all lives with yours. Take this hour with you. Return to what I have said and read it aloud to your own soul. When the old heaviness tries to reappear when everything at Ziklag was in ruins, David found strength in me. Between hearings, a word from me never expires. I do not speak in fading ink, so it will be as alive next month as it is now. And never forget that the promiser is more important than the open doors I offer you. I'm by your side both during the quiet moments in between the signs and when they occur frequently. Both when you pray and when you forget to do so, I am with you. I have already entered every hour of your future. And there won't be a time in the future when you search for me and discover that I'm not there. You brought questions with you and I have addressed the most profound one. We never forgot about you. You were positioned, prepared, and kept, and the keeping is finished. You are past the time of locked doors. It's the time of the open ones. Enter it in the manner of those who are in love, slow, fearless, and confident in the arm at their side. With my tranquility resting on you like a garment, go now, move ahead of you into each room, and do me a favor. Let my word be louder than any voice that has ever told you less and go with it alive in your chest. I have loved you with a love that will last forever, which includes today, tomorrow, and every step of the long bright path I have planned. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our COEF community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. This is my promise to you, and it won't come back to me empty. It will complete all of the tasks I send it to complete in your life. Heaven is behind every word I've said. I am involved in the remainder of your story from this point on until the very end. Seal this word now and say, yes, Lord. I am ready. If you think it was meant for you, before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens.